This video is brought to you by Nature's Pond Care. Let's talk about ponds. For many people, when they hear the word pond, this is what they think of. They think of some place that's beautiful, tranquil, crystal clear water, glistening, a place that maybe you can swim in, a place that you can sit by, relax, and enjoy. But the reality is, this is what most ponds look like. Whether you're planning to put a pond in or you already have a pond, this is what you can pretty much expect it to look like. Not very pretty, full of organic matter, full of plants, things that are invading it, bacteria, organisms, all sorts of muck and grossness in the bottom, and you do not want to step foot in it, let alone let your pets drink out of it, because who knows what is inside that nasty thing over there. But what if there was a way that you could keep and maintain your pond so that it didn't look like this, but eventually looked like this? Today, we are going to start our first step in cleaning up our pond. Our pond is trashed. It is a disaster, but it started off like most ponds. It looked fairly decent. Let me tell you about our pond, how it used to look, how it looks now, and how we plan to take it back naturally and with no chemicals, because we have animals and I don't need them getting sick from us trying to fix an already disgusting mess. Let's go. Several years ago, we dug out our horse pond. We made it deeper, we made it a little bit wider, and it was great. We had plans to let the horses swim in it. We had plans to fill it with fish. It was going to be great. Unfortunately, what we didn't know was the original builders of this pond had installed some drain tile to ensure the pond stayed at the proper level. When we dug it out, we accidentally tore out that drain tile and subsequently caused massive flooding all across the horse pasture. Now, instead of one pond in the wintertime, we had two or more, and the pond would extend a massive ways out into the horse pasture, creating a huge mess. Since we didn't know anything about proper maintenance of a pond, nor did we have time to monkey with it a whole lot, it slowly began to evolve. A few cattails popped in, and I thought they were kind of cute. It offered a nice little variety for the pond, but soon it got worse. Vegetation and even more cattails began filling the pond year after year at an alarming rate, faster than it should have for regular normal cattails. After doing a little bit of research on it, I quickly found out that these were not your normal cattails. These were a highly aggressive, invasive type of cattail that were non-native to our area and were killing off regular cattails at a rapid rate. These needed to go, or they could potentially destroy not just our ecosystem, but all of the surrounding ecosystems in our neighborhood as well. It barely looks like there's any water in there. Holy cow. There's something in here. Oh! Heidi, what are you doing? You are wet. Wow. Wow, this is filling in with all of this vegetation. Look at this. Look at this. It's never been filled before. This used to be all water. Now the invasive cattails have taken over, and we've got all sorts of other weeds popping in here. We are in a massive drought this year. For the last couple of years, Michigan and our area has been experiencing a drought, and it has taken a massive toll on our horse pond out front, in addition to all of our other ponds on the farm. Now, while this pond is more for drainage and ornamental purposes, it still is nice to give the horses a place where they could come in and just sit and relax. Years ago, that's what they really enjoyed doing, was going out in the pond and just enjoying the water. Now, it seems only the dog's able to do that. This pond used to come all the way out to over there. And you can't really tell anymore because it is shrunken down so much. Is this pond even able to be saved? That is the question. Now, while you might say the best way to go about is to take an excavator and just dig the whole thing out. The problem with that is it is extremely expensive to have a company come out and dig your pond out for you. We actually priced out the pond behind the house that we wanted dug out. It was going to cost $20,000 just to dig the pond. That doesn't even include pulling out all the trees that I have grown into the pond as well. So fortunately for us, we do have the backhoe on the TYM, but it would still take a lot of work to go through and dig this out. And not everybody has access to a backhoe on a tractor. So what other options do you have to maintain your pond on your farm or your property? Especially if you really would like to have something you can swim in or keep fish in. Fortunately, there is a very excellent solution that is both effective and organic. And it's not very often that you can say the words organic and clean pond in the same sentence. Here we have the Nature's Pond Conditioner. This is step 1 in the pond treatment plan. It gets rid of algae blooms, unwanted plant growth, and of course the pond sludge. That's all the gross, nasty stuff that sits at the bottom of your pond, and you don't want to step in it because you don't know if it's going to swallow you alive. Now, originally when we were calculating out how much product to use for the pond was approximately 50 feet by 50 feet, and it would have used 1 quart of solution. Unfortunately, thanks to our drought, it is much smaller than that, probably more like 25 feet by 25 feet. So we could effectively use half of a quart. But for all intents and purposes, we're just going to go with 1 quart. For the pond care solutions, you're going to treat in a cold climate like ours 1 to 2 times per year. You're going to treat in June and you're going to treat in September. Now, while I felt like I was on the late end of treating the pond, we still had temperatures in the mid-40s at night for quite some time. So once your temperatures are about in the 50s at night, that's about when you can start treating your pond. For us in Michigan, it's approximately June. Now to mix this into your pond, you're going to take, in my case, the 1 quart of solution, and we're going to dump it into a bucket. And the ratio is 1 gallon of product to 10 gallons of water. So since we have 1 quart, we're going to mix it into 2.5 gallons of water, which is perfect because that's approximately what I can carry without dumping it all over me down to the pond. Now, if you have an aeration system, you're going to deposit it right next to your aeration system. We don't have the aerator installed quite yet, so we're going to go with option number 2, which is to disperse it in several areas throughout your ponds. This allows it to kind of get a head start in mixing around your ponds. Even better if you can do it right before rain. Unfortunately, thanks to our drought, we don't have any rain in the forecast indefinitely. Once you get the pond conditioner applied, now it's time to install the aeration system. The aeration system is going to add air into the water to help kill off all of that nastiness that's growing in the bottom of your pond. We'll get to that in another video. Unlike most pond treatment plans, this Nature's Pond Conditioner is fully environmentally friendly. There's no harsh herbicides. It uses beneficial bacteria and enzymes to treat the source, which is phosphates and algae. It uses nature's own science to clean itself. This pond conditioner is safe for people, fish, pets, and the planet. That includes critters drinking out of it, critters swimming in it, and critters basically living in it. It removes up to 12 inches of nastiness in the bottom of your pond. I am so excited to see what the Colander's Pond system can do for us. We've talked extensively about putting an actually large pond behind the house. And one of the biggest sticking points that I had against doing it was maintaining it. Because I know how ponds always end up. Gross and disgusting, and a breeding ground for bugs and mosquitoes. And I do not need any more things that need massive amounts of care out here on the farm. So when I heard about this solution, I knew this might be the ticket. If it would work in our horse pond, then it definitely will work for the larger pond we plan to re-dig out behind the house. So if you are not subscribed, be sure that you hit the subscribe button and check in on this playlist right here. because we are going to be working on this pond and checking in on it all summer long. Step 2 is going to be adding the aeration system. Now we actually have a windmill that's going to be powering our aerator, and I'm very excited to see what it can do. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. If you have a pond, let me know down below. Let me know what it looks like right now and what it used to look like when you first put it in. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Love you. Bye.